There's a popular saying, God is love and love is God. I want to show that's not just sentimentality, it's reality. Love is divine and the divine is love. Start with agreement. We know when we're in agreement. It's a direct experience. Coming to yes can be a really powerful, very transformative experience. And loving somebody can be even more powerful and even more transformative. Unfortunately, what we call love is not always as pure and noble as the word implies. Anyway, the question arises, how is it that we can agree with each other? We're separate beings, so what is the medium through which we can agree with each other? Or to put it less mildly, what is love? How is it that we as separate beings can love each other and come so close on such a fundamental level? See, we've run out of mundane explanations. First of all, how can there be so many different conscious selves, all with the same conscious nature? Well, the only explanation is that there's a universal self and we're emanating from that universal self. Second question, how can we actually realize our conscious self nature? Again, that happens when our intention to experience more being, knowing and loving intersects with the divine intention for being, knowing and loving. Mystics say that we realize our self-nature by the grace of the divine. And when we do that, we directly experience the loving, graceful presence of the divine. And then the next question is, how can all these separate conscious selves agree? What is the medium? How can we love each other, come together? There's general agreement that you can't create love and agreement artificially. It comes by grace. It's going to happen when, on the one hand, we trust each other, and we trust that actually there is love and agreement. And on the other hand, we're going to have to let go of the obstacles. We're going to have to come out of our psychological fortresses and meet each other on the common ground between them, the common ground of consciousness and spirit. We're going to have to be like the soldiers in World War I who came out of their trenches, laid down their weapons, came out of their trenches, and they celebrated the spirit of Christmas between the battle lines. I've been in a community building experience, a workshop based on the work of M. Scott Peck in The Different Drum. So the facilitator explained you can't create community by your own strength. It comes. The group went through the first stage, superficial community, and then in the next stage, the members of the group are negotiating, trying to adjust the group, adjust the situation to create community and agreement. It doesn't work. And then the group has to go into the next stage, which M. Scott Peck calls emptiness. And at that point, there's something really amazing happens. The members become vulnerable. They let down their masks. They come out of their psychological fortresses, and they present themselves in the group as they really are. Humbly, they become vulnerable. And when they do that, something really amazing happens. It's like the spirit of community enters into the group and accepts the members as its own. It was tremendous. It's like a spirit of acceptance and love. And then you actually come to real community, and it's a tangible presence. I remember one of the participants in the workshop came up and asked me, "Have you got it yet?" And he said, "Oh, I see by your eyes that you have." This spirit of loving acceptance is an aspect of the divine. Now, materialists may disagree, but it's built into their own process. Material science has this criterion of intersubjective verification. It's one of the basic criteria. Intersubjective verification means that any number of subjects can make the same observations, come to the same conclusions. But what is the medium by which all these separate subjects can come to the same subjective conclusion? That medium must be the intersubject, or the universal self. We've run out of mundane explanations. We're going beyond material explanations and beyond the influence of the conscious self. We're left with the intersubject, the universal self. Agreement on truth and reality is axiomatic and self-validating. It's indescribable, inexplicable, undeniable. We can only conclude that it's an essential aspect. Loving agreement, love and agreement, or loving agreement, is an essential aspect of ultimate reality. Totally pure and selfless agreement and love are actually a taste of our own divine nature, and they're actually a direct taste of the divine. Like it said, love is God and God is love. Love is divine and the divine is love.